Recording.
Hey guys, welcome back to Carlienne's Corner, the podcast for adventures of Carlienne. I am Adrienne.
And I am Carl.
And we are reminiscing about our year of travel. And we just finished up with Morocco last time. And
Crazy episode. Crazy episode.
Survived, and we made it back to France in Nice. So south of France. For me particularly, I was really excited to go to Nice and south of France because I always thought like that might be somewhere I would want to live, like
for me,
countryside.
I've been to Nice before, so
different experience.
My previous experience of Nice was when I went. We were doing a Europe trip, me and my family, and it just so happened it was a World Cup year, and France and Italy were going at it. So it was like my parents used to like to do the bus tours. So we were like going through like every country, kind of thing, kind of bus tour, you know, like 14 days, and then these are the countries. And so one of them was Nice, and I remember that like on the beach area, they had like these big screens where people could watch, you know, the World Cup, and it was just like this crazy thing. So I was excited to go back to Nice, but definitely my expectation and my standard was definitely different because I remember just that atmosphere of everyone just like together on the beach and like cheering on.
A lot more going on.
Yeah, crazy. So, but anyway,
definitely not that exciting or energetic during our time there. We were here for a short, I think also three nights or so. And unfortunately, Carl ended up getting kind of sick and feeling unwell.
Yeah. It could be probably like the adrenaline dump from
Morocco.
All the 5 previous days or whatever.
Yeah, and but nonetheless, it was still a really nice visit. We still managed to get quite a bit done. And but I powered through it. Like I'm like, yeah, we only got 3. Like I'll go until I cannot, like, you know, so. Yeah. And I mean, to begin with, we had a little bit of trouble. Like we had landed in Nice and we were trying to find the bus that takes you to city center. And you would think like this would be a very common, you know, popular route. It would be clearly marked and all of that. But it turned out they were doing like construction on one of the bus terminals or areas or something like that. And so there was like misleading signs saying that it was like closed or it was over here and not over here. And so we were wandering around trying to look for this bus with this other family that was also a tourist family. And it just so happened that we finally figured out where the bus was supposed to come because we saw it leaving. And we all ran and we were running trying to catch this bus. And my backpack actually, like the zipper somehow broke open. So like basically the whole back flap like opened where my laptop was. And luckily the Velcro strap that holds it in was like doing its job. But I remember like panicking because we're running for this bus and I was like, oh my God. And Carl had to like help me like get out of the backpack so that I could like properly zip it and grab. And I mean, basically the bus drove past us running to it and like did not stop. And we were just like, okay. So then that was the last bus of the night as well. So we ended up having to fork over a taxi, but luckily it's like a fixed fee and it's not
wasn't too bad.
Crazy, but it was like something we definitely didn't want to spend money on a taxi. But alas, we had no choice. Got to city center. There's a lot of construction going on there too because they're trying to basically set up their tram system to be a lot better. So
hopefully it's a lot better by now.
I mean, hopefully. But the taxi guy was like, oh, I can't really get you further into like closer to your stop. But we were like, okay, that's fine. You know, he says like it's down the street. So we walk down the street and we're looking for the Airbnb and have a little difficulty locating it. We find like, again, it's like in a building that's for like multiple apartments. And we like, okay, like we don't really know. There was no further instructions like how to get, into the actual apartment. So we had to wait around a little bit and try and get a hold of our host. But after a little while, he does come and he like brings us in, and he's like this big jovial guy, like super friendly, talking it up, kind of like a real estate agent, like has all this story as he walks us in. And he's like, like this building used to be for like, the workers. It's like like they call it like the galley apartments or whatever, they used to just, so it's a little bit snug, but like you can imagine like 4 people used to live here together in this space. And he's like talking it up. And then we get to this room, and it's literally like a loft closet.
Yeah, it was tiny. It's like the corner of a room.
Yeah, and I had a feeling, and I mean, like, to be completely fair, like the Airbnb description, he makes it clear, like, it's not a big space, but it has everything you would need. But I think he's certainly had a lot of that feedback where people are just completely shocked by how small and tiny it is, So it was basically, the bed is in a loft, and you have, a tiny little shower bathroom that's connected. And unfortunately we couldn't like leave the window open for like better airflow, because like there was a neighbor who was like smoking all the time in the courtyard that the window leads to. And because Carl was not feeling well. So it wasn't a good combination of things. There was like turf carpet in the bathroom, which was kind of like weird to us. We were like a little unsure of like why you would put turf there. But, it's fine. Like it worked out, and it was a great location, if nothing else. And we did fine.
Yeah. If you're watching this on YouTube, so you'll see pictures and some photos of our little Airbnb. I think we're even going to sneak one of those photos.
Oh my God.
Like we did laundry, and so we have like a rope hanger where we hang our laundry. And so we were just like snaking it through our like Airbnb, and then
it really felt like we were like in a little ship or something with the clothes hanging around, and having to like duck and weave underneath the clothes to get to the kitchen sink or to the bathroom, and then climbing up the ladder to get to the loft bed. It was a fun adventure.
Yeah. Any memorable things about Nice? What do you?
Nice, I would just say it was like a really beautiful city, and it was like so relaxing, especially after Morocco. The intensity of Morocco, like, seaside city, like super chill. Like you have the promenade that people walk around, or you have like that like really cute like fountain area. It's also called a promenade or something like that.
Promenade des Anglais. Is it that one, or
I think
du
so.
Paillon?
No, I think it was.
So the promenade. The 2 promenades are Promenade du Paillon and the Promenade des Anglais.
Now I don't remember which one's which, but but the one where it was like in the middle kind of the city, and then basically has the fountains
where
that all the kids are like running around. It was like really beautiful there. Just like one of those areas to like relax and hang out, and you see a lot of families spending the afternoon there. And I think we kind of wanted to do a little bit more, but because we were feeling under the weather, and then also because there was like student demonstrations or something.
Yeah, there was some sort of like a peaceful protest going on there.
So the trams weren't running like the full distance, so we had to like kind of reroute several times. And probably the biggest thing we did manage to do is like go make our way all the way up to the monastery, the
Jardin du Monastère de Simiez? Simier? No, it's a Z. So do you say it? I don't think you say. I think you say the Z, right?
I don't know.
Shoes, man. 4 years of French down the drain. Anyway, go there.
Yeah, so we had read on a blog about just like the really nice views, and that it was just one of those things where it's not necessarily touristy, but kind of like a nice local gem of a spot. So we made our way up, and the whole area, actually, there's like a park surrounding it as well. So just with,
which was a nice park, right? It was like people
there
were
was like ruins,
kids
there,
playing,
Roman ruins.
Kids playing like little like t-ball and stuff like that. I remember that. And
Yeah, it was just like very like family oriented space, like really nice, super.
and it's on top of a hill, so it's like there's a nice lookout over Nice as well. Not as grand of a lookout as like some of the other ones, but definitely nice.
Yeah, and the monastery is just like basically the gardens that you can walk around, and it's somewhat like formal gardens because everything is sort of landscaped, but it had just this like lovely feel about it. You know, there was even like this, not like shed that we saw, but it was a little bit off to the side, and it kind of looked like it could be like the groundkeepers, you know, like how like hut kind of type of thing, and we would just be like, oh, like wouldn't it be lovely if you just like lived here? And you would just like take care of the garden, and that's all you did with your life. Anyways, that would be a dream for me. But yeah, so it was just, you know, we went kind of like late afternoon. So it was, the sun was setting. It was like very beautiful. And just, you know, you have people that were going to visit the monastery itself, but we didn't really have an interest in it. So we just kind of walked to the gardens and stuff. And there were like other, you know, like locals just enjoying, just chatting. Yeah. And I think that, you know, despite it not being like a touristy area, that I thought it was like a really nice place. You could definitely like pack a picnic or something and then go to the park and then walk around and just enjoy the afternoon. I think.
For sure.
And then other than that, there was also we made it to that Russian
Orthodox cathedral or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
With the, you know, I don't know what you call it.
Like the domes.
Yeah, the domes.
Really
the
colorful.
Russian, yeah.
Like dome, and then the spear going. We did go in, right? We went in. I don't remember.
You can go in, but there's not really much to.
Yeah, there wasn't much. The outside is much nicer than the inside. Then they have like all these little bunnies like around the area. Yeah, it was just like the architecture was just really nice on that. That's probably why we went. I think, you know, when as one does, you search, you know, what to do in Nice, and that was one of the things. So. You know, if that's one of the top things to do in Nice, then probably there's not much to do in Nice.
In terms of like sea, yeah.
Yeah. Like attractions to see. But definitely Nice is a very nice? Nice is nice city to be in. You've got the ocean right there, and it's every time we've went, or every time that I've gone to Nice, it doesn't look like crazy waves or anything, so it seems like it's swimming friendly. I've never gone in, but you know, just nice to veg out on the beach. Rocks. There on the rock beach.
Yes, rock beach.
A lot of people run along the promenade as well. So, and then there's just a bunch of shopping. A lot of restaurants. A lot of restaurants. The thing to try though in Nice is socca. Socca is like a Nice thing, right? Like and how would you explain socca?
Texturally, it's kind of like a hash brown that's crunchier and more flavorful. But kind of like a hash
almost.
Yeah.
We had it a good number of times, and it's really tasty. Where did we Chez Pipo? We had I think we just had a general and then, like
Chez
burgers.
Socca too. Yeah.
So a lot of Nice for us was just trying to relax from the adventure we came from in Morocco. And I think it was perfect. Definitely another place that we needed to slow down and probably take more time at, just so we can explore the area. I remember they have these, I think it's definitely like a chain, but my brother's name is Carrie Paul. And every time
cafes,
there's like a cafe called Paul, and I'm like, man, you're cracking in Europe, bro. You should come to Europe. And then I remember going to like the next city after Nice, which was Lyon, there was like a toy store that was like called Paul or something like that. I was like, dude, you own a toy store too? It's like this guy's everywhere. But yeah, so I mean, again, Nice was just a nice place to just chill. Even though I was kind of feeling under the weather, it was nice to breathe the ocean air, and yeah. That's pretty much it. That was pretty much our Nice. It wasn't anything crazy. We didn't do other than like eating socca every day. There wasn't much.
Yeah. Well, so when we went to, I think it's Chez Rene Socca, for socca, as you can imagine. I think the area that it is, there was like this one sort of general like neighborhood that had a lot of like food stalls, and it was like kind of a narrow alley and stuff like that, and that was really fun to like kind of notice, stumble across, and then like partake.
Yeah, there's like, I remember passing like some sort of a taffy shop or a candy shop or something like that.
Yeah, and just all kinds of different food,
little shops here and there. Very like nice, very Nice place.
Yeah, and then I think it was at Chez People that was like the really, like they're really well known for their socca, and I think it was like the best there. But then they also had these other dishes that were like really tasty, like their dessert, which was like the Swiss chard pie, which normally to me doesn't sound very good, but I was like, hey, let's give it a try. And it was like a really like delicious, almost like gourmet fig Newton, if that makes sense, just texturally, but like really delicious. And I was like, I never thought I would like chard, but like, and as a dessert too, you know, so things like that, where it's just like, oh, kind of really like home cooking, in this like comforting way, not because it was like not high caliber or something, but it was like everything was really tasty and super satisfying.
Yeah, I agree. Is there anything else about Nice?
Other than in our little shipwreck galley Airbnb, where like, we ate at a nicer restaurant where we had the burgers, and I totally committed a faux pas because I couldn't finish my fries and my burger, and so I asked our waiter for a box, and he gave me this look, which I didn't realize it at the time, but later on I realized it, and I was like, oh, probably because nobody ever, French don't typically like take leftovers home. You're supposed to really enjoy the food while it's fresh. But I was like, I can't finish this, and I don't want to throw it away. Like I'm going to eat this later. but he definitely gave me a look when I asked for the box. And then we ended up like going to the market or something. And I remember buying like a bottle of wine. And then because Carl was actually not feeling well enough, we were like, okay, you shouldn't drink. So I drank the whole bottle by myself that night, and I had trouble going up and down that ladder to the loft bed. Yeah. And Carl had to tell me to stop going up and down.
Yeah. I mean, most of the time we were kind of in our little Airbnb, because I was just trying to like rest, gain back my energy. But that's what's cool about the interweb, like all the Netflix we had our Netflix. We were able to log into our Xfinity and watch some of the stuff. So
yeah, just to relax.
It's very weird to think that,
you go on
you go on a trip, you don't miss a thing on your TV or anything like that. So that does kind of help, like if the weather's not so great, it's not like you don't have anything to do. Yeah, obviously it's nice to talk to whoever you're with, but yeah, like I don't want to say that saved us, but it was just nice while I'm sick, half listening to whatever's on the TV or on our streaming, and you drinking a whole bottle of wine, so everyone's kind of happy. Yeah. But yeah, Nice is a great place. Do you want to go back there? Is that a place? I felt like it felt small, but I don't know if we just didn't venture out like far enough.
Right.
Because I wasn't feeling well. So I think, like, again, whole of Europe, we definitely have to like do it again, slow down. And I guess Nice is one of those places that we would go back to. Especially, we just watched this French. She was like in the military, and then now, like, she comes back and she's in Nice, and then seeing that, like, yeah, I forgot what it was called. It's on Netflix, but she's like a French military person, and then something happens on the field. Yeah, and then it's like the female version of Taken, basically.
It's not the best movie, guys, but it was fun, and because we like recognized certain places in Nice and then kind of like was reminded of it, it made it a little bit more thrilling.
Yeah, but yeah, so Nice, we'll see you again. Hopefully I'll be healthy when I do, and we'll eat all the socca in the world and sit on a rocky beach.
Yeah. All right, guys. If you enjoy this, please don't forget to like and subscribe or vote or review or wherever you're consuming this episode. Otherwise, please join our conversation on Scene. It's our home base. Just download the app and join the conversation. And other than that, we will see you next time when we talk about Lyon.
Lyon, yeah.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.